Ever notice how some books totally change after you hit your 30s? Suddenly, they aren't just words on a page. They're guides that speak directly to where your life is now. Your 30s are a pivotal decade, a time when you're juggling career ambitions, evolving relationships, and major life decisions like buying a home, starting a family, or even rethinking your purpose. The way you see money, priorities, meaning, and mortality shifts dramatically during this period. What once seemed abstract becomes urgent. What once felt distant now feels immediate. These 5 books perfectly capture that shift, offering fresh clarity, compelling stories, and practical wisdom exactly when you need it most. First up is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a thought-provoking exploration of how your relationship with money is much more emotional and psychological than purely rational. Housel's core idea is simple yet profound. Wealth isn't just about numbers or formulas. It's about behavior, mindset, and how you manage your impulses over time. One of the most impactful insights he offers is the concept of enough. In a culture that glorifies endless ambition and accumulation, knowing when to say, "this is enough," becomes a radical act that protects your peace and satisfaction. He also highlights patience as a superpower, the ability to let small, consistent gains compound quietly over decades is what builds true financial security. To illustrate, Housel tells the story of Ronald Reed, a janitor and gas station attendant who lived modestly but, through frugality and steady investing, quietly amassed millions by the time of his death. This example isn't about flashy wins or high-risk gambles, but about humility, discipline, and long-term thinking. If your 20s were about hustling fast and chasing every opportunity, this book helps you understand why your 30s demand a more thoughtful, patient approach to wealth. Next up is Essentialism by Greg McKeown, which dives deep into the liberating power of saying no. McKeown's thesis revolves around a deceptively simple but transformative idea: less but better. In an age of endless options and constant connectivity, the ability to focus on what truly matters is rare and precious. One of the book's most actionable techniques is the 90% rule. When faced with a new opportunity or request, if it doesn't feel like a 90% enthusiastic yes, then the best answer is often a firm no. This mindset shifts you away from the burnout of overcommitment and toward intentionality. McKeown shares a compelling story about a high-powered executive who refused to attend meetings that didn't move the needle, reclaiming hours every week to focus on critical priorities. This practice of ruthless elimination of distractions isn't about laziness. It's about crafting a life and career filled with meaningful, high-impact activities. For anyone in their 30s, when personal and professional demands multiply endlessly, Essentialism provides a much-needed blueprint to declutter your calendar, your mind, and your life. Principles by Ray Dalio is next, offering a masterclass on living and working guided by clear, consistent principles. Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates and one of the world's most successful investors, argues that having a set of fundamental truths helps you navigate complex decisions with confidence and clarity. One of his groundbreaking ideas is radical transparency, a culture where honesty, openness, and constructive feedback aren't just encouraged but are the norm. Dalio shares his famous 5-step process for achieving goals. Set clear goals, identify problems preventing you from reaching them, diagnose the root causes, design actionable solutions, and do what's necessary to push forward. He uses the example of Bridgewater's unique company culture, where employees are encouraged to openly challenge ideas and themselves, creating an environment of continuous improvement and trust. For those in their 30s working hard to build careers, businesses, or personal brands, Principles is a powerful framework to develop your decision-making muscle and cultivate resilience through structure and honesty. Fourth on the list is Viktor Frankl's timeless Man's Search for Meaning, which pivots away from success and money to survival, suffering, and the quest for purpose. Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, presents a compelling case that even in the most horrific circumstances, finding meaning is what sustains us. His core thesis is profound. Our primary drive isn't the pursuit of pleasure or power, but the search for meaning, what he calls logotherapy. Frankl recounts stories of fellow prisoners in concentration camps who, despite unimaginable loss, chose hope and purpose over despair. One prisoner imagined reuniting with loved ones. Another found meaning in small acts of kindness, even in suffering. These narratives demonstrate that meaning transforms suffering from something to be endured into something that can be profoundly redemptive. For many in their 30s, when existential questions like, "Why am I here?" or "What's my purpose?" start to nag at the edges of everyday life, Frankl's insights offer a deeply human, hopeful perspective to help root your life in something bigger than yourself. Finally, When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi is a deeply moving memoir by a neurosurgeon who confronts his own terminal cancer diagnosis. Kalanithi explores the fragile boundary between life and death with unflinching honesty and grace. The key message of his story is the preciousness of life and the urgent importance of defining what truly makes life worth living. He weaves together reflections on neuroscience, philosophy, and personal narrative to explore how facing mortality sharpens your focus on what matters most. One profound takeaway is the value of presence, fully engaging with the here and now rather than being consumed by abstract plans or future goals. Kalanithi's transition from doctor to patient brings a rare perspective on vulnerability, identity, and the human spirit. For anyone in their 30s who has started to confront mortality, whether through personal loss, health scares, or simply the passing of time, this book is a profound meditation on life's ultimate questions and the fleeting beauty of existence. These 5 books don't just offer timeless wisdom. They reflect how your mindset naturally evolves in your 30s. From understanding money and mastering focus, to living with clear principles, finding meaningful purpose, and confronting mortality, they resonate deeply because you've changed, and so has what you need. Which book spoke to you the most? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into life-transforming reads.